Would you have declared a state of war mandatory if you had come in?
Whatever it takes to secure the country, I'll do it.
Let's talk about your records, and these are the criticisms.
Yes.
They say that when the Panama's paper came out, they said you didn't declare some of the money you had offshore. They said when you were governor, you keep saying, oh, democracy and rule of law, but you didn't do local government elections. They also said...
Can I take them one after the other?
Take them one after the other.
Let me take issue of Panama paper. Pandora
Papers, sorry. Not Pandora Papers.
Let me tell you, Rufai, I have a clear, legitimate trust, which is allowed in law internationally to be able to plan for inheritance purposes. And it is documented and everything. It was there that company, which you can trace, moved from one company to another, started Asaba in the 90s. And it's interest, it's not something you can know. In the 90s, Rufai started about 96, 97, I'm not clear, but I can tell you, until I became governor 2006. So it was a clear case of over a decade before I became governor. By that process, I started saving in a bank, Lloyd's Bank, and that came out of resources which were earned by a company I was running abroad, Nest International Limited, which is a subsidiary of Nest International Nigeria, my company in Nigeria, which was duly declared. When that came out, it became news. They said, oh, that they replaced the found money where I owned about $500 million. I was actually investigated
by the FCC.
Everybody said, oh, they found a place where there's 500. Before I replied, I said, if you go there and see 3%, I didn't say 10%, 3% of what you claim, or you mentioned, life imprisonment. Rufai, do you think I can tell you, go and look at what I declared when I became governor? I was already a bank chairman, everything. Naira, at that time I became governor, was about 100 Naira to $1. To date, the money in the said savings, it's about, I don't even know where it's the one that belongs to me is up to $15 million. Do you think it was $15 million I've stolen since then and kept? Is that the amount of money people are stealing in Nigeria today?
But they talk about the investment in the brewery.
No, let me finish. We're talking about Pandora paper. Let's do it one after the other. So what they did is that people blew something that is out of proportion. Rufai, that I saved, say, 100 million Naira is what? But when they saw it, even one organization said, is this about $1 billion? I said, $1 billion. If I have $1 billion, yeah, you won't be talking. But if you go there,
how much is that?
1%. No. I told him, I said, go there if you get 1% of. If you see.
So how much is there for transparency privilege?
There's no transparency privilege. I put in every year. If it's $1 I put there. I just told you that when they said it's 500, and I tell them go and get 3% there. 3% of.
But you know why I'm asking? Because if you want to run, you have to declare your trust.
No. It's everything is declared. It's plain. Everything.
Okay, for the want of time, let's go through.
The other one, he said brewery. Let me tell you, Rufai, I'm happy you're asking that question because people have talked about breweries and everything. Rufai, if I tell you what I suffered for that brewery to be built in Anambra State, you will not believe it.
Not to do so.
I had to go out trying to attract business to Anambra State. The biggest revenue earner in Enugu State is Ama Brewery. Ama Brewery in Enugu. The biggest earner, call it revenue source for Anambra today, is that brewery.
But you said the government stake that he invested had gone down. That was not smart investment. Those are some of the things they say.
Thank you very much. I wish other people in Nigeria invested in something that went down. That's not smart. I said the biggest revenue earner, the revenue source, is that brewery. That brewery is employing at least directly 500 Anambra people. That brewery is at least giving food to over 5,000 Anambrarians. Those who use that business, distributors, truck drivers, everything. I wish people are doing that. What we do is that we condemn what is that because of the way they've been treated. They are the biggest brewery in Ogun State. Have you ever heard anybody say in Ogun State, oh, the brewery is this? They have a bigger brewery in Ogun State.
They say you brought poverty to Anambra. Those are the criticisms of Lagos State Governor recently. So they said they say about they said I think they accused you and they said under your tenure poverty did increase and all of that. So you had no moral right to go to John Hopkins and talk about poverty.
You are talking about narrow interest and narrow assessment. Go and look at Nigerian Competitive Index. Go and look at Rufai. I was governor of Anambra State from 2006. And I was impeached. So you can say I was governor of Anambra State from 2007 to 2014. 7 years. I was effectively governor for 7 years. Because the first year I was removed, as you know. So I was governor for 7 years. Rufai, Nigeria as a country was a signatory to the global measure of development, which is Millennium Development Goal. That is a global thing. Nigeria was a signatory to it.
Yeah.
That is what made China to pull 439 million people out of poverty. That was what made India to put over 150 million out of poverty. I can go on and on. But Nigeria was signatory to it. And it was signed in the year 2000. Rufai, I became governor in the year, started effective governance in 2007 after I came back from impeachment and tenure interpretation. By the time he ended in 2014, Anambra State under me was number one. In terms of, this is not me who measured it. It was UNDP. I was even invited to United Nations to come and give a speech on what we did. I was number one. I was number one in education. Health had improved and everything. I can go on and on. So when you now have a distorted result, I say, go and look at World Nigerian Competitive Index. Go and ask people who were involved in fighting poverty in Nigeria then. Tobacco and all that. Go ask them. Ask all the donor agencies who is the first to pay his counterpart funding. Ask everybody. The only reason I didn't do well, Rufai, is that I wasn't in media. I wasn't going about paying media people, advertising myself and everything, because maybe because I didn't have a little bit of a concern about giving people money. That's it, because it was public money. That's all. Otherwise, maybe if I was advertising myself, nobody would. But to show you what it is to Rufai, come and live in Anambra today. The only place I have a house in my name, owned by me, is in Anambra State, in Onitsha. And if you go, I'm inviting you any day in Anambra State, let's walk the streets, and people will tell you, who is this man?
Okay. They also say you didn't do a lot of infrastructure. These are the things people say. They say, what about schools?
You don't need to.
What about capacity? They said after you left Anambra, it's not that you turned Anambra into paradise.
No, it's
that Oka was still looking, somehow. So there's nothing.
Let me not waste your. Don't waste your time, Rufai. I got certified from Federal Ministry of Works as governor to have the best road connectivity, who opened up all the rural areas. In our study of poverty,
Ministry of Works gave you certification for that?
Ministry of Works, there is federal government. As I said, I was acclaimed as the best. Let me tell you, Rufai, in our study of poverty, we found out that the poorest areas of Anambra State indeed have sex. What we do here is that we think that building infrastructures and painting them and doing this is development. It is not.
But the governor just built a big infrastructure in the states. The governor's house has some other quarters, which they say is being put into the states.
Very good. When I came, and it's very good, and I thank him for that. When I came,
so why didn't you build that
one? When I came, there was no government house at all. There was no governor's lodge. They were all burnt. There was no government house. There was no governor's lodge when I came. Not even House of Assembly. All those things were burnt because my predecessor had issue, and some pastors and hooligans came and burnt everything. So I didn't even have anything. Rufai said, from my village, I went to live in Onitsha, and then renovated and rebuilt whatever is being used now. So you could see the foundation. I don't know, but it's like anybody coming here and say, oh, this place is a bungle. You have to live here now to build upstairs. So I could have started building the huge one when I didn't even have any place. So the day I was sworn in as a governor, Rufai, in Anambra State, I did not see anywhere called Governor's Lodge to sleep. I did not see anywhere called government house. It was after 1 week of coming from my village that I asked the secretary to government to vacate his office. So I started working there. And then went to live in Onitsha and started renovating the house in Oka. So where they are now, that is moved from, was built by me over 10 years ago. So now I built that one, built the government house, and then found out that we needed to invest in critical areas. Rufai, when I came, the schools, secondary schools, primary schools were in very bad shape. That is not my priority. Should not be to start building where I'm going to live. My priority should be to invest in critical area of development. That's what I told the people I was going to do. And I turned the education around.
Okay, let me put this to you. A lot of people also say that show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Say that show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. You influence the measures of your successor that had a lot of problems. Is that a reflection of you?
Which problems do you have?
Oh, with all the, being called by the EFCC and all of that, then what ensued as regards him saying you didn't leave as much money as you claimed behind and all of that, and the breakback that ensued. So is there a reflection of you that you backed such a person? That's one of the things they say against you.
Let me tell you, Rufai, Obiano has never said, and this is what I tell people, I didn't leave money behind. What you see here is that they go and say, oh, group said, that's what I was saying. Oh, this group said, oh, this didn't leave money. This group said, this group, at the time they interviewed me, I said, listen, I didn't hand over to group. I handed over to Obiano. So why are they talking?
But what they keep on saying is the money that you claimed you left behind was not as much as what you left. That you also left a lot of liability.
No, let me finish. They keep saying groups. Rufai, the money I left behind was not left in overseas. I left money in 3 banks. Those 3 banks are there. You can go there. In fact, after this interview, I have in my little office here photocopy. I will give you photocopy of my handover note, including the balances of that account as I left office, issued by the banks. I left in Access Bank, which is still there. 12 billion naira, $50 million. And I'm going to give you a copy.
12 billion naira and $50 million in Access Bank.
I left in Diamond Bank. 12 billion naira, $50 million.
In Diamond?
Diamond. I left in Fidelity Bank. 12 billion naira, $50 million.
$50 million in this 3 account. And $12 billion
and 36 billion.
What debts did you?
1 minute. They're documented. Rufai, the day I left office, I was not owing one contractor, one supplier who have executed his job. If you see one today, I challenge you. Who has it? I was not owing any civil servant that was supposed to be paid by the state salary. I was not owing gratuity. I was not owing pension. Additionally, if you want to know, I left salary, enough to pay salary for 3 months. It's documented, and I'm going to give you the documents. It's not something that anybody. So I wasn't owing anybody.
So you said you were not owing people that had completed their job, but you were owing those that had not completed their jobs.
If you haven't done your job, can I pay you? How can you pay somebody who haven't completed a job? Even you.
So you are paid. You are not paid those that were not completed. That the job was still ongoing.
If your job is ongoing, I won't. Let me give you an example.
So are you telling me?
When I came into
are you telling me that you left no debts behind in Anambra?
Not one. And I was even begging people to come and take their money. If you have a job in Araba, you can go and ask anybody.